How is the use of systems thinking tools and concepts in your professional development, how does that correlate with your class instrument?
So the class instrument is the classroom assessment scoring system. And that is a tool that's used in all, or can be used, I should say, in all early childhood classrooms. Specifically in Head Start, it's actually a measure of quality that the Office of Head Start has chosen to adopt. And they actually come in every couple of years and do class assessments on our program. So it's something that we're always trying to build, because it's not, something you get measured on once, you get a good score and great. The fact is they're coming back and they're going to do that over and over and over. And so we do those internally to gauge that even when they're not there. We're always gauging those class scores. And so one of the things nationwide that we see teachers scoring low in is the last domain of class, and that's instructional support. Specifically, we see teachers struggle in concept development, which is one of the dimensions in that domain. And concept development really deals with things like analysis reasoning. In other words, what kind of critical thinking skills are you developing in your children? What are the how and why questions that you're asking? We can spend a lot of times asking a child, what color is this? What number is this? And academics and rote learning has its place. But again, as I said, at this age, we're really wanting those critical thinking skills developed. So instead of asking the child, what color or what shape or what number is this, we want to spend more time asking the children, how does this work, or why is this so? So if we go back to the professional development that we used in that stock flow, and we can obviously ask the child, what do you notice? That's a good question. What do you notice about this toward the end of the book? And the children could say something like, her belly's really full. Well, how did her belly get so full? So now they're thinking about the process or the system in which it, how did her stomach fill up? Well, she kept swallowing all these things that we shouldn't really be swallowing. And then at the end, when she does belch or burp and all of these things come out, then you ask them the next question. You don't say, well, what happened? Because they know what happened. They saw what happened. But the better question is, why? Why did she belch all this up? And so now they're thinking, well, maybe she had a stomach ache because she swallowed things she shouldn't have swallowed. And so you also, in concept development, you don't just have that analysis reasoning, but you have that connection to the real world. So then you can start having a whole conversation about, have you ever ate something that made your stomach hurt? Have you ever ate things that maybe you shouldn't eat? And how did that make you feel? And so all of a sudden now you can use these system thinking tools not as a different curriculum or not as anything else other than a supplement to really increase what you're already doing. And I can tell you that from personal experience, when I was the mentor coach, I would go to my teachers and tell them, you're getting a class assessment, even if it was an internal or an external one. This would be a great opportunity to use a systems thinking tool, especially during something like maybe a circle time where kids are often sit and you're sort of talking, and we know that's hard for them at this age. So you can do something like a systems thinking tool that's going to get them up, get them involved, and still develop those critical thinking skills, and you're going to watch scores increase.
Great. And so that brings to mind, Chris, this is and just listening to what you're saying and how the kids build their capacity with in analysis and reasoning. How did that impact your teachers? So through building their systems thinking capacity, did you see some professional growth with your teachers?
Absolutely. When we were first introduced to systems thinking, it was new to all of us, of course. And anytime you try to introduce something new, you always have a little bit of maybe pushback, or a little bit of, I don't think this will work, or a little bit of, this is just the new fad. I'll ride it. I won't really learn this. I'll ride this storm out, and next week we'll try something new, because we all have been in education long enough to know sometimes that is the way that trends go. But the really cool thing about systems thinking is that it's not a new fad, or that it's really something most teachers are already doing. Maybe they don't have the terminology, maybe they're not using that specific tool, but they're already using those habits and they're already doing the same concepts that systems thinking covers. And so it's really nothing new. It's just given a shared vocabulary to the sort of things that's already going on in your classroom, and then giving you a couple of new tools that are visual representations of your thinking, of children's thinking. And so once we saw, hey, I can do this, I did notice teachers doing it more often. You know, at first, it was like anything else. I saw teachers doing it when the quality coaches were coming in. So when Mary and Sherry were coming for their visits, oh, yeah, I've got to do a systems thinking lesson. And so they would get something ready and they would do it. But then over time, as we did more professional development and as we were more experienced with it and as we saw what a benefit it is, you know, they were coming to me between visits and saying, hey, this is something I've been trying. We actually adopted the iceberg program wide as a way to introduce new units. And we saw the great way that you can use that tool. And it's a tool that you can come back to over a week or over 2 weeks to add to. And it's a great way to introduce a new unit, which we introduced each month. So yeah, I saw a lot of professional growth over this project period and even since this project period in my teaching staff.
Okay, well, Chris, I really appreciate the time you've taken to spend with us today. And thank you so much for all your work. And thank you.
Thank you.